Hey everybody, Mike Sammond with you right here with a rapid reaction. We want to ask you this question for you SEC fans out there. How many SEC teams do you believe deserve to be in the top 25 poll? Now, the coaches poll and the AP poll will be coming out very shortly today. We expect it at any time, and as soon as we have that information, the official polls, we'll break in and have that information for you. But right now, as we kind of wait and wonder, we want to ask you, how many schools in the SEC do you deserve to be in the top 25? We ask the question because it's based on a column written by SEC Country's Alex Martin Smith, and he says that number should be 5. And we'll tell you the 5 that he picked, and we want to know if you agree with him or if there's maybe are more or less that should be in the poll. But as far as the 5 that he has Alabama, Georgia, Mississippi State, Auburn, and Florida in his top 25, and we'll go over the rankings of exactly where they are in his poll in just a couple of minutes. But we want to hear from you on Facebook Live. What do you think? Is 5 schools seem about right? Is there somebody that he's missing that should be in the top 25? Or are one of the 5 that Alex says should be in the top 25 maybe don't deserve to be there anymore? So we'd love to hear from you here on Facebook Live with your comments, and we'll talk about those, and I'll give you my reaction as well. But according to Alex, the 5 teams, we'll start with Florida. We'll start with the higher number and work our way down. Florida, he's got at number 22. Now, they were number 25 in the coaches poll this past week. But, of course, the amazing Hail Mary win over Tennessee on the final play of the game, beating the Volunteers. Florida winning a home opener once again. They have not lost a home opener since 1989, but an incredible ending with Felipe Franks throwing that pass to Tyree Cleveland. Somehow he got past the secondary, and they win the game on the Hail Mary. So Alex has them at number 22. He has Auburn at number 17. Now, they, of course, won their game against Mercer. Not an impressive win, so Coach Malzahn is still a little bit on the hot seat with Auburn, but he's got them at number 17 in his poll. Then he has Mississippi State at number 13. That is by far the biggest jump. The Bulldogs have been unranked. They were unranked in both the AP poll and the coaches poll last week. It's going to be very interesting to see where they break into the top 25 this week. But Alex says they should be at number 13. Of course, Nick Fitzgerald having a phenomenal year. He is playing himself into the Heisman watch. Definitely had a great game and a very impressive 30-point win over LSU. Whoever saw that coming? Unranked Mississippi State, 37-7 over 12th ranked LSU. Amazing. It was their second largest margin of victory over a ranked team in school history. So congratulations to Mississippi State. Alex says the Bulldogs ought to be number 13. Next week, Mississippi State goes into Athens. They play the Georgia Bulldogs. Georgia, he has it as number 12 in his rankings. So that's going to be a great game next week in Athens. Can't wait for that one. But Mississippi State at number 13, Georgia at number 12, and of course, no surprise, Alabama is the number 1 team. So Alex has got those teams in his top 25. Florida, Auburn, Mississippi State, Georgia, and Alabama. Does that seem right to you? Anybody that he's missing? Should Kentucky be in the top 25? They're 3-0, and they just had a really nice win over South Carolina. Speaking of the Gamecocks, they started 2-0. Tough loss this week against Kentucky. Are they a ranked team? Are they a top 25 worthy team? What do you think about that? Although they lost Debo Samuel, their star wide receiver, that's going to obviously hurt them moving forward. But a very tough loss by South Carolina. Do you have them? Maybe in the West, Texas A&M, LSU. Some tough losses for those teams so far this season. Are any of them top 25 worthy? So we would love to hear from you. So let me throw on the old glasses here and see what you folks out there on Facebook Live have to say here on our rapid reaction. Chad Horner with the first Facebook Live comment says only 2 teams. Okay, who would that be? Alabama in the top 25. Only 2 teams in the SEC should be there. Got a couple of roll tides. Michael Winiger says Bama and Mississippi State should be the only 2. You don't think Georgia's a top 25 team? Auburn, I get. I'm not sure. I think the jury is still out on the Auburn Tigers. And Florida, I could see it. Maybe they're borderline, but there was an impressive win this week over Tennessee. Let's see. Stephen Turner, you believe Vanderbilt ought to be in the top 25. Bailey Kenner put Vandy at number 25. Carlos Gray with a Go Kentucky. I think the Wildcats, I could see them being a top 25 team. Not sure if they'll make it this week. We'll find out shortly. Hopefully later this morning we'll get some word on that when the coaches poll comes out. Coaches poll will come out first, followed by the AP poll, so we're waiting to see what's going to happen there. Jonathan Johnson, you believe Kentucky and Vanderbilt need to be added to the list. Let's see. Blaze Boykin, Vandy's got to be in there. Brandon Folkerts, maybe Mississippi State. Alex Martin Smith has Mississippi State in his top 15, and no question they're going to be in the poll when it comes out later today. Tyler Pace, you also believe that Vanderbilt ought to be ranked. We appreciate all the Facebook Live comments coming in right now. Let's see. Jeff Eisenberg, you got Georgia at 11, Bama at number 1. You say Mississippi State should be 13th, Vanderbilt 24th, and Florida 25th. You might be right on. It's going to be interesting when the coaches poll comes out. You might be really close on all of those. That's all pretty good predictions there. Brian Whitby, Bama, Mississippi State, Auburn, Georgia, Vandy, and then you got Kentucky. Maybe they're the one that Alex Martin Smith doesn't have, but maybe you've got them in your top 25. Richard Brashear, even though Tennessee lost on that last-second Hail Mary, Richard, you believe Tennessee should be ranked about 18th. Interesting call there. Kirk Allen McKean, Vanderbilt deserves to be in the top 25 over a Florida team with a truly woeful offense. Florida is struggling, although Franks at times looks pretty good in the win over Tennessee. But I understand where you're coming from, and you make a pretty good argument. Let's see. William Gilbert, you'll say, we'll see. We'll have a better idea. We'll see more clearly when Mississippi State takes on Georgia next Saturday. That's going to be one of the premier games in the Southeastern Conference between the hedges next week. Looking forward to that. Let's see. William says we believe in sorting things out on the field. Let's see. Riley Johnson, LSU should be 20th. Just took a 30-point loss to Mississippi State. You were 12th, so you believe the Tigers should drop from 12 to 20. There's some people here that believe LSU should not even be in the top 25 anymore. Alex Martin Smith has LSU dropping out of the top 25 in his column on SECCountry.com. Marshall Malone, State should drop into the top 25, break into the top 25. They will. What's going to be amazing about Mississippi State is that they're probably going to end up being a top 15 team. They've been very impressive. You look at the points that the Bulldogs have been scoring, 47 points, make it 49 points, although it was Charleston Southern. They scored 57 on Louisiana Tech, and then they dropped 37 on 12th-ranked LSU. And I'll tell you what, the quarterback, Nick Fitzgerald, is playing great ball right now. I mean, he's fighting for SEC Player of the Year with Deebo Samuel now injured, the great South Carolina wide receiver. Fitzgerald may be the top player in the SEC. Let's see. Marshall Malone, Vandy does deserve a number 21 ranking. They have come from miles from where they used to be. Matt Sheeler, you got Bama at number 3, Georgia at number 12, Mississippi State at number 13, and Kentucky at number 20. So you don't even have Auburn in your top 25. Bama at number 3 is very interesting. In the Football Power Index by ESPN, they have Bama, believe it or not, at number 4 now. That just came out in their Football Power Index. You've got them at number 3 in the poll here. Obviously, all the injuries on defense, the pass rush is going to struggle a little bit for Alabama, and their offensive line still looking for an identity. Nothing to shake, be sad about to see Alabama drop to number 3 or wherever they may or may not drop. But I think they're still going to stay number 1 in both polls. But you got them at number 3, Matt. Appreciate the input. All this great stuff here on Rapid Reaction here on SECCountry.com. Raheem Goins, you've got Georgia as a top 10 team. You've got Bama at number 1. And then you say Vandy, Florida, Kentucky, LSU, and Mississippi State will all be ranked. Appreciate your input. Tara Adams, Auburn had a cupcake game. Not sure where they will rank too high. You know, Auburn was ranked 17th in the coaches poll, and Alex, in his SECCountry.com column, has him at number 17. So he doesn't have them moving at all. Wouldn't be surprised to see them actually drop. Even though they beat Mercer, it was not an impressive win. They were only winning by a touchdown early in the fourth quarter. And actually, Mercer had the ball with a chance to tie. But, of course, Auburn came out and ended up winning the game 24-10. Robert Brassfield, Nick Fitzgerald should be up for the Heisman watch. We're now seeing him pop up. His name is popping up in some of the Heisman hopeful lists that we're seeing. I was reading one on, there's a Sports Illustrated writer that is Nick Fitzgerald now is his number 5 Heisman guy right now. So we're going to start seeing more and more of that. Chris Mardis, the Kentucky Wildcats, should be in the top 25. Chase Tiller saying Auburn's not too good, and they just got in trouble with their quarterback. Of course, their quarterback was their backup quarterback, not the starting quarterback, that was arrested this morning in Auburn. And that's more bad news for Gus Malzahn's team. By the way, Auburn just released a statement on the Sean Smith arrest. And they say they are still gathering all the facts before they make any decision on what they're going to do with backup quarterback Sean Smith. And let's see, Shannon East, I think Tennessee ought to look for a new quarterback or a new head coach. They're finished. And Dallas Ramsey, Bama should be number 5. Really? Anyway, we appreciate all the great input on our SECCountry.com rapid reaction. Again, how many SEC teams are worthy of a top 25 ranking? That was our question today, and we appreciate your input. We had some fun with it, and we'll see you next time right here with more rapid reactions, and I'll be back with some more breaking news as well. Mike Sammond with you here on SECCountry.com.